And we have the CRONE card. With an E. And this is Words of Wisdom Tarot, where we use the chakra system to give language to what women inherently know and the permission to trust it. So happy Monday. It's been a bit of an intense Monday here today, so I'm a little late getting the reading up. People are definitely coming to crisis points in their lives right now. If you are one of them, please know that there is help out there. I have help in my link below if you need it. I offer what I call a spiritual paramedic session. So it's for people who are having a spiritual crisis, a crisis of faith, a crisis of anything. But mostly it's a crisis of faith. Something in your life has come to a head and you need advice, and you need really good advice, and you need advice that's not going to sugarcoat things. So that link is down in the description box, in my link tree, but there will also be a description there for you. Okay, so carrying on from there, please remember that this is a general reading and it may not fit for you. Don't try to make it fit. Not every reading is meant for everybody. And so today we are going to use the Eternal Seeker Oracle cards. Okay, these are based on the tarot, and they're lovely, but they were the ones that said we're coming out today, so I said, all right. Also, if you are struggling with sleep right now, or feeling wired and tired, or like for me, I struggle with sweating. So I run frequencies from my scanner every night before I go to bed that take care of that, including the Schumann resonance and solar flares. But everything has been really intense. So I've been definitely feeling the effects of all of that energy, and I've been doing nothing but sleeping. So if you're feeling very out of it right now, this energy is upgrading our third eye and our crown chakra. So honestly, from here down, I feel fantastic. From here up, I'm ready to go back to bed. There's a lot of upgrades happening right now, and our bodies, we as empaths are already only running at about 15% of what we should be, because they have been wearing us down on purpose. And the energies have been wearing us down on purposely, I think. I imagine that at some point this is going to come back in our favor, but right now empaths are not running on a lot of energy, and then this energy coming through that we're being asked to hold is a lot for us. So if you're finding yourself out of sorts, really tired, heavy, anything along that line, it's because we have a lot of energy coming at us. The astrology is coming at us, the solar flares, but the Schumann resonance right now is a big deal. When it changed yesterday, I slept for 3 hours, and then I slept 11 and a half hours last night, and I could go back to bed right now. Excuse me, Pip. Thank you. I could go back to bed right now, but first we're going to do this reading. And I'm not sure. Okay, I can see where we're starting. So we're starting again in the solar plexus today, and we have the CRONE card. Okay. Now I am going to look her up because it tells me which card it's connected to, which is this card does not connect to the so this card does not connect to the tarot. Most of these cards do. The crone is the ancestral keeper of family wisdom. The matriarch of the human tribe completes the 3 of the triple goddess. The number 5 represents feminine, equals chaos, equals expansion. Wisdom, grace, and knowledge are the fruits of a life spent in service. Having the well-being of one's family, neighbors, and community in your care is both taxing and rewarding. Be mindful of the gifts of the season and fill your larder with what life has offered. The shelters are prepared, the harvest is gathered, and the safely stored. Be at peace as you freely share your knowledge and wisdom. Your words do not fall on deaf ears. Okay. So that sitting in your solar plexus area talks about you stepping into the power of being the crone. The reason I have long hair right now, if you've ever known me, a lot of you won't have known me, but if you were to have known me before COVID, I always wear my hair really, 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 really short. Like not buzzed off short, although I did that for a little bit too. But super short, really short, most of my life. I would get my hair down to almost my shoulders and then it would stay there for too long and I never grew it. And in July of 2020, my guide said to me, crone hair. And I've been growing my hair ever since. Now, we won't talk about the length. It grows very slowly. Doesn't matter. The reason that my hair looks the way it is because I was told it was time to step into the wisdom of the crone and I needed to look the part. I found it very interesting also in 2020 how many people, once hairdressers were not allowed to be working on people, how many people decided just to not color their hair anymore and to let it go naturally. And it's wonderful seeing how many women have stepped into that kind of crone phase of her life and gone, okay, I'm good. I'm done with society's thinking. I'm done with all of that. This is who I am. This is what you get. I know I almost never put on makeup anymore. So this is talking about taking the knowledge and the power, stepping into the power of that knowledge and being able to speak your truth about it. Just because people don't agree with your story, I mean, you will have people that will gaslight you about your own story. And this is non-alcoholic. You'll have people gaslight you about your own story. It doesn't matter. You know what you lived through. You know what you know. You know what wisdom you gained. You know what you lost. All of those things make up who you become as you become older and you start to step into the matriarchal position of the family. Many of us have mothers who are incapable of stepping into that position. And so many of us are stepping up as the matriarch in our family, even though our parents are no longer, even though our parents are still here. I know I did it years ago because my mother is not leading the family. My mother is doing my mother. So you're being asked to step into that crone wisdom and to begin sharing it. So we come up with the Hierophant tradition. The crone carries the stories, and the Hierophant, I just want to double check, make sure. I'm pretty sure this is a Hierophant. Yes, it is. Okay. And the Hierophant carries on the traditions. So this is sitting in your throat chakra. So the crone is to be speaking. So I think this is referring to the birth of the new earth, where those of us that have the wisdom will need to be speaking of what it was before all this. We need to be reminding people of how to do things that many people are disconnected from right now. Canning, baking, dehydrating, all those kinds of, all along that line. People have been very disconnected from that for a reason. This feels like, you know how we always have had those kumbaya moments where someone, like an older person and it's a bunch of kids, and they're telling the stories from the elders. That's what this feels like. This is the elders telling the stories, keeping something alive, or speaking a truth into something that needs to come into fruition. And of course, then we have the wisdom card in the crown chakra, which is your connection to the divine, which is not shocking. I mean, we're talking about wisdom. We're just getting more validation of, I really meant what I said, right? You're tapping into that wisdom. You're stepping into the power of that wisdom. You're connecting into collective wisdom and then speaking that truth out into the general community. But it's interesting, this card. This is the star card. This is the hope card. And it turned up in reverse. Now, I always shuffle my cards upright. and I don't read reversals. So when they show up like this, I tend to pay attention. When all hope seems lost, allow yourself time to grieve before searching for a solution. Hope is not lost, it is only quietly waiting for you to recognize its presence. Reflect on the past and remember what it took to get you to the here and now, and take heart. Remember too that you have always found a way to move on. Even when the darkness threatened to consume you, you survived. Okay. In relation to these cards, this is not related to these cards. Okay. So this is a direct message that before you step into this crone energy, to allow yourself the time to grieve. There are things about having been female in this world, having been a woman in this world, that, for lack of a better way to put it, have been extraordinarily disappointing. To be able to step into the power of the crone, you have to let go of all of the other identities that you identified with, that were sad, broken, betrayed, lied to, taken advantage of. You have to make peace with all of those versions of yourself so that you can step fully into your divine feminine self and into your crone energy. And crone energy is very balanced. It's balanced between the masculine and the feminine, because you know who you are, and you know you speak a truth that other people maybe can't swallow. That's not a you problem. In your root chakra, we have the guardian. And this dude allow only truth seekers to enter. Keep in mind, this is in your root chakra. This is where you learn about truth in the first place. This represents the ability to communicate between the realms. The number 29 is for trusted companionship. So you have arrived at a place on your journey where all of your strength and integrity are needed to continue onward. How you meet the challenges before you will determine your worthiness to proceed with your quest for mastery. Will you do battle with strength and honor? Will you stand in truth and allow your convictions to shield you? So this card is talking again about tapping into the wisdom of the higher realms, right? So we are at the root. This is the crown. These two are connected to this crone card. Okay, so you're going to be finding your empowerment through understanding that this is you in your root, on your mission, speaking out the truths about traditions and what is right and what used to be before everything got inverted. This knowledge is going to be extraordinarily important as we move forward. So we are the keepers of the knowledge. So the next card that is stepping up is in the third eye chakra, and it is the Oracle, which I'm pretty sure is the High Priestess. We'll just double check. It certainly is. So interesting that she shows up in the third eye, because the High Priestess is all about intuition, black and white with the gray in the middle, but she's the one that speaks truth, right? She's the one that reveals what was unhidden, what's been unhidden, what's been hidden, what's been kept secret, right? She is the one who's helped you get to this point where you can say, you know, I'm ready to step into this. I'm ready to face these things. I'm ready to let go of these things. I'm ready to understand that the universe has my back. Right? We have the guardian. We have wisdom in the root and the crown chakra, saying the universe has your back, so you can step into who you're supposed to be with the protection of the elder gods, who is the Emperor. So this energy is in the heart. This is your energy. You have the energy of an emperor. You have the strength, that courage, that I'm seeing a lion. I don't see things very often. So when I start to sort of see something, I have to pay attention. This is talking about having the strength that an emperor has. Think about what an emperor has to go through to become an emperor. He's the ultimate in wisdom. He is higher than a king, right? He is the man who has his shit together. He's the divine masculine. He is power and strength and compassion and empathy rolled all together. This is already in your heart. And that is why you're being called on to be the crone. That is why you're being called on to speak these truths. Whatever those truths happen to be. And I can see here, because apparently this really needs to apply to myself, but it's not going to happen. This woman, she looks soft and strong. And she has this owl, this creature, this of wisdom and grace, and also has courage, because owls hunt for their food, right? They hunt their prey. There is, there is a need for us not to speak to each other so much as milk and cookies anymore. That we need to be utilizing the discernment and the clarity of the Emperor from our heart and speak the truth. Now, I tend to be very blunt, and when you come into space with me where a truth needs to be spoken, it can hurt your feelings. It's not meant to hurt your feelings because it's always delivered with love, but it's delivered with such a level of unbridled truth that most people have a hard time hearing it. So I feel like this card's saying you can do this with some softness, some kindness, some compassion, and at the same time speak the truth in a way that they can absolutely hear it. My job here is not to be sweet and kind and all those things. My job is to be blunt. I've been this way my whole life. My guides and I have had conversations. I am here to be as blunt as I am because people need someone like me who can do that. However, most of us don't need to have messages delivered at that intensity. So your job is going to be figuring out how to deliver strong messaging that lands with people, right? You can see this owl's coming in for a landing on her staff. Her staff of knowledge, right? He's coming in for a landing. So you want to give people a safe place to land. Okay, that's it. That's everything for today. That's what all the cards have to say. I hope that something in here resonated with you. If you are looking to go deeper, there is a link in the description box below. If you found that this was helpful to you, if you could do all the good social media things like share, comment, turn on notifications, I would really appreciate it, because then it would help the YouTube algorithms find me and find other people who are interested in this kind of content. And as always, take what resonates, leave the rest, and enjoy the rest of your day. I love you.